Welcome to Confrontation of Calling, the podcast that takes you behind the scenes of living out your purpose. I am your host, Dianne Reid, and in this show, we're diving deep into the raw truth about confronting, contending for, and confirming your calling. Get ready for real conversations about the highs, the lows, the difficulties, the fears, the triumphs, and the victories about walking boldly in who you have been created to be. No fluff, just the powerful, unfiltered truth and reality of what it takes to thrive in your calling. Hey y'all, welcome back to Confrontation of Calling. I am your host, Dianne Reid. I am coach, author, speaker, consultant, but above all, I am a child of God, and I'm so happy that you guys are back here with me. I am so excited that you guys have chosen to join me here for another season. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you comment, you subscribe. If you're listening to me on any of this podcast streaming platforms, please make sure you review, you rate, and you download. It helps make these episodes and this podcast discoverable for anyone who needs it. All right, let's jump into today's episode. For today, I want to dive deep and be honest with you about one of the objections that I had when the Lord gave me a specific assignment within my calling. So we're called to be a person, and then he calls us to do certain specific things. And for this particular assignment that he was telling me to work on and create, my pushback to him, I'll actually throughout this season, I'll talk about a lot of objections that have been coming up as I choose to walk into my calling, because I think there are many different things that start to rise up out of our own mouth when the Lord starts speaking to us. So today I want to talk about one excuse in particular, one objection in particular. I don't have enough resource. I don't have enough money. I don't know enough people. I don't have enough platform to do what you're telling me to do. And that was a particular excuse specifically about financial provision that I was using before the Lord. I think when we hear the Lord instructing us to build something or to create something, we think we have to have everything in place and everything, all the resources there when we start to build. But the truth is, as we build, we get what we need as we need it. So I know last season we spoke about obeying ourselves clear, that fresh revelation and instruction comes as we take one step after another. The truth is, that's what happens with our resource as well. First and foremost, walking in calling requires faith. It requires you to believe what the Lord is saying about you and trust that the instructions he's giving you isn't leading you to destruction or leading you to poverty or leading you to death. If we truly understand and truly believe that the Lord is good, that he's holy, he can't sin against us, he can't lie to us, because it quite literally is not in his character. His character cannot compute lying or doing or saying anything that leads us anywhere other than life, because he is life and everything he does is a reflection of his love. So for me, when I heard the loving words of the Lord in the words of a command and in instructions, my pushback to him was that I did not have enough money and I did not have enough resource to do and to start what he was telling me to start. I think this is true for a lot of us. People get really creative in lack. People get really creative when there is very minimum to work with. When we're in lack, there is a force to be resourceful. In a way that is not required when we experience abundance. And this is not to say that the Lord doesn't want us to have an abundant life. That's literally why Jesus came. But abundance is broad. Hi, I'm Dianne Reid, and I'm so glad you're here. If you've landed on this page, it's because you felt it. That quiet but persistent nudge that you're meant for something more. Or that call to build something new and step into uncharted territory with intention and courage. I know that feeling. Before becoming a coach, I spent years in high-performance environments, including as a consultant at a Big Four firm. But even with all the titles and success, something deeper was calling me, and I had to learn how to trust it and respond. That's why I created Confront the Call, a 90-day group coaching experience designed to help you move from uncertainty to aligned action. Here's what's included: weekly live group coaching sessions with me, bite-sized pre-recorded lessons that you can watch on your own schedule, reflective guides and tools to help you with your growth, and a private online community for support and accountability. This program meets you where you are, but won't let you stay stuck. It's here to help you rise into the person that you are becoming. So, if you're ready to stop second guessing, to lead with clarity, purpose, and truth, then it's time to answer the call. Click below to apply. I'd be honored to help you on this journey. I said I don't have the money to do it. I don't have the resources. I don't know enough people to get this done. And what he told me was, you absolutely have everything that you need for this moment. You have everything that you need to start. And the truth is, starting even when you don't have everything, is an act of faith. That's why I said walking in our calling requires faith. No matter how you stretch it, no matter how you put it, it requires us to believe a thing that we can't see yet, but to act like and to walk like it already exists, because it does. It just has not manifested to us in the present. So when the Lord was telling me, build this thing, do this thing, I kept pushing back. I don't have enough. And he reminded me of many things. One of the things was in Exodus 4, when he's talking to Moses at the burning bush. I encourage you to read it. He's talking to Moses at the burning bush, and he's telling him to go to Pharaoh and tell him to free the Israelites. What Moses says, he comes up with many objections, and what the Lord says back to him is, what is in your hand? What is in your hand? And Moses says, a staff. And then the Lord changes the staff into a snake. The Lord was showing Moses that he can use what is in his hand, the Lord could use what was in Moses' hand to do anything the Lord needed him to do in the moment. The fact that a staff could turn into a snake miraculously means that the Lord is not bound by what is in your immediate hand, what is in your immediate life. What he wants to do is use what's in your hand to prove his sovereignty and to prove his power, and to prove that he doesn't need the flashy things in order for you to accomplish purpose. All he needs is for you to walk in and walk and do the things that he has called you to do. So this particular episode is for those who use resource to not actually walk out their calling. This one's for you, because I understand. The truth is, you have everything that you need to get started, by way of instruction and by way of resource. What is in your hand? What currently exists in your life that you're not taking advantage of and you're not using towards what the Lord has called you to build and what he's called you to do? More than likely, that's why you haven't gotten the next instruction, because you have not followed through on the previous instruction with what you have. And the truth is, as you continue to obey, more and more resource will come. More and more information will come. We spoke about that last time, but that's also true with resource. Another example of this is in Exodus 37, when the Lord is giving Moses instruction to build the tabernacle so that he can dwell in the presence of the Israelites. What happens is that the Lord appoints people to build, appoints skilled artisans to build the tabernacle. And he also gives the instruction to Moses to go to the Israelites and tell them to contribute resource to the building of the tabernacle. Now, here's the thing. When the skilled artisans begin to build and begin to carve out the structures and to sew all the cloth and the clothing for the priests and all of that, when they begin to do that work, people are still bringing contributions. They're bringing the silver and the gold and the linen. They're bringing all the things as the people are working, as the people are building. So the Lord will always provide provision for the instruction that he's giving you. So even if you don't see it all at once, at each step he's providing. At each step, he's giving you resource. As the people were building the tabernacle, the Israelites continued to contribute. And what happened is, at the end of it, because the people were so generous with their contribution, they had more than enough and had to tell the people to stop giving because they had already built what they needed to build. So the truth is, you have more than enough to begin, and you will have more than enough when you build. Your instruction and your duty is to walk in faith and to start building with what's in your hands. So my question to you today is, what is in your hands that you can use today to obey the Lord? What is the Lord asking you to do in this time that you feel like you don't have enough resource for? That if you took a second to reflect on what is in your life, you could evaluate and say, wait, I can use this. I can use my pen and paper. I can use ChatGPT. I can use the tools that are within that I have currently to just get started. And as you get started, more and more resource will supply to the point where you have more than enough to build the vision that the Lord is bringing you and is to build what the Lord is telling you to build. So today I'm imploring you to use what is in your hand. I understand that immediate objection. I don't have enough. The truth is, you have enough to get started. And what it was teaching me as I was choosing to obey the Lord to build out what he was calling me to build out, and currently building out what he's calling me to build out without having everything in place, it was dealing with my perfectionism. Hello? It was dealing with my perfectionism. It was dealing with my fear of failure because I didn't want to get it wrong because I didn't have everything that I needed. No, I had exactly what I needed to get started. Everything wasn't perfect in my eyes, but it was perfect to the Lord to get started. How are we defining our perfection? Only the Lord knows what is perfect. So if he's telling you to do a thing in this time, at this time, that means it is the perfect time to get started. And what you are working in and what you are working towards is perfect to him. He will make all things work together in the timing that he needs it to, but he needs us to partner with him. Another thing that has been brought up as I chose to walk even without having resource is getting intimate relationship with the Lord and knowing that he is Jireh, knowing that he is the one who provides. Because what could happen if we move when we have everything figured out is that we believe that we did it in our own strength and with our own resource and with our own finance, when everything really comes from the Lord. So when we choose and when he puts us in situations when we have to operate out of lack, he is revealing to himself as Jireh to us in that way, so that we are not bound to money, so that we are not bound to resource, so that we are not even bound to the relationships around us to obey him. He's removing everything that would try to step in the way of our obedience and showing us that we don't actually need those things to obey. We just need him. And that's what moving from a place of believing that you are in lack will do for you. It will show you that the Lord is everything that you need. So the truth is, you're not lacking anything because you have him and his word. And you have something in your life that he's telling you to use. So this is your charge today, to look at what's in your hand and to get started now. He's calling us now, not tomorrow. He's calling us now. He's calling us now. He's not calling us tomorrow. He's calling us now. So it's enough of using I don't have enough as an excuse. It's enough of using I don't have the resources to not get started, because that is not the truth. You have everything you need to get started. So what projects are you holding back on? What promotions are you refusing to apply for? What conversations are you refusing to have because you feel like you're not ready for it? What has the Lord given you already that can absolutely be used for what he's telling you to do? And trust that as you use what he has given you, he will trust you with more. You have been faithful over a few things, so I will make you ruler over many. There is a process and an order to experiencing and having the responsibility of abundance. You have to be trusted with lack. And boy, has the Lord been showing me that in this season. But when you're able to steward the lack, you can be trusted in the abundance because you know where the abundance came from. Not in your own strength, not in your own intellect, and not in your own resource. It came from him, and it always comes from him. That's all I had for you guys today. What's in your hand? And use what is in your hands to get started now. I love you guys deeply. Know that you are deeply loved, that you are chosen, that you are worthy of the call that is over your life, not because of anything you do, but solely because the Lord says you are worthy, because he has called you for such a time as this. I love you guys. Peace.